I pray every night for you to come back home. Corina, 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 I love you so.
Yarat shik doshdane arhada okisgi hoji aita the modo tijin hanada sokiz allada olkilto hili jin goda zehashla dolnigo olkilone hagone shihata sokizgi yat kedini the hori denebanant Dr. Buu Nygren Thursday hana olkid hane shi hadoljish ado hane nanagi the nebida ho yagi ne the nebasala because Andoch in lead Lyndon Grey Bear Jr. no say lead say the sanda no hot na din up a thatin benache astra des is doba anake the haljin and so do na kidineza din the hetet logo hun stas benae yishlij but see yishlij no ado in rahagi chaliko se jeni telkhil yena rah no ado teje the showy ado tlaj dot lij ado kedego nezigi yishliji yena no hanno kitchen holga dalsado hoda naga the no soy chin lease labs anigi hunda hadosle 928-674-2111 hot edos ar hunne nanigi the nepen the hosts anigi Winona Peralto holga ben the hosts do ya at no ben na honne to ishi hot edos kan das roige do sato athato dan da of kaige hedo Hunne nanigi nan nishel toda liagi ne nash chilidem srej khadeka ne stra de mil sa bahlehogo trodedot se no hot hoat neked hat enigi ashon bitat dej nishtole and schagi tweet sehigi ne George goild higi bitsaro lachin adole nash chili hoat neked hat enigi trobe da hadole no hot na kid since transago beso be la azli la troscheyon schogi dot no na kedineze din de mil yaje ye kal ko ne la troche dot no hot obeta dejnishli Washington la peso no tagi to khahel rod arpa bit nenigi aro yo troje khahot zoje peso dan kichon deal ingi capital outlay bit nenigi hot on jno kisen dashil nishto qada de neba Washington toike da des ingi to dan da achahigida len des Sauter Miller Associates but no aro to an hin hidden nen lo Clausen excavating hot sani lay yos hotan jno da de los nishto hodobe hanast di da hot enigi shon de nen an nishbe da hallo al khoda liago bini na khwada echo de netrobe da hallo no aro son jno shodezen Jasper Pablo no yese na khaslin lo nek echen jno nikaman na hastando yadel khwada khadin da di nello hot obe sodezen enigi eshin be hot niln so hot Ayoba Hensen le San Juan River do tro bits unleader le no khwada ne nash chili khwa kida hat enigi be khahodet edo le chin hon ayam tondo gelton le beshna pasro bits ano da tro khada hat le gi ayo edab ni tin no dishin jono el yago do le ba yadat eto le hot enigi ayoba shel khojon hot all the neba Washington shata inishigi hui jimbit baby chi yesht khilhedi da hot enigi eben yedit die gaat orde at ohni peso onda soos do le khajo nal soos khadal do nilto lees khado khalto de netchida do nish aron da schoda liago ha shin de net khobe da hallo do njgono do il nenigi ja huichin jnoban sis keso di da hot ego ayo bash khojon e sho to ba da hallo sendol nash chidide e stra de mil sa nela khobe kahota ennish do le Ado honne nanigi sto aslana khidob ayeta Goulding's Lodge Monument Valley de na Nishland da hisilni sta stratin de milen sa bahazli on da hisilni to sa to peso sel sozne khashit oy peso na ilchito khashit oy njgonon khadl dol nish nene ado ben nachida de nena nishbe de hallo le chukan are tharne zatin honne la de ne del nish ado kadiyashon Annehin da hisil ni no ka is kanda ayon sogo check nenigi the never Washington which hundod ni no khat zo et kha the mil sa dob asnigo hone lan kich honalia $3.5 million astran de zich na as nishigi arostran na de ziroshe honane lago ni khanadil sos no Navajo Hospitality Enterprise hoto Annehi lanson njgono dolelti anna kha sostit de mil sa hone la ya nahin teto de nebo Washington hot enegi hodo shito bayada tke njno ata iliagi bashel khojo shin hot on pesh was anda Yego dash nishigi Herman Daniels that enegin kuidishi na sochia na il sos strat atta na khibnash nishno ha shi kadin khot ela be la azli do yat ehok ade chian da hanni to de ne da khwadan da chato chidin hawan zizu da khwaban da haz ado dan jahigi da bad hallo hot o yo ba hensin hot o na nishta hallo do peso ya na hinte to be khododa alla dat enegi bekenda iliedo le chunlin Washington ntsgel go saado le nenegi peso ya nahin tehga ede na anish hot o yo benesh lile chunne kushina khayadan NGS Navajo Generating Station that del kala no aro le chinda hada gerigida betsado dis din de milen sa ya nahin tehe nacha hotza khalada di nil nene di she khwa ashon so tsid de milen sa ya nahin tetle hot o bena ajnishgi bashel khurjodo ba yat ensin she nasten de nebo Washington ashon ye na naz golto no ba kheta nitsin kishin lo are dal nishigi lo khe do le kishi khare nezet din de ne de nos nishigi Eko hot son Francis case a kehad o lich the keda honot inigido na nishidal inigi hot o ashon $3.5 million ya na nit in Francis case a kehad o lich also keya ashlatin na khego alto be na aslin khwa keya bel khot so gi chon ido lich no alto be la aslin aro hone nanigi Division of Children and Family Services denigi na nishidayil ya aked eko alchiniyaj eda be bekha da yegi peso khat so no beshul khon a jp khanni kon February 14 hon aked peso khat so no beshul na hon hona hot ehadashi kushida na de zoda ade da peso na da haslin shi hoto alchiniyaj bekha na to was di peso be el dorigi sta de mil yajiye hone la de nempe alchiniyaj be bekha o what hayusta alla de mil sa hone la peso chidesil in hot ba hetanitsin Satoshi Amado Jada do Masana do Cheda alchiniyaj ban hajdos lata da shipo dishiya shon peso ye el gorigi Division of Children and Family Services ba hetanitsin da no hot aroso bandas nishigi so hehe tashin al sos bakhada do sado masana do chedo mada do shi do yego da ilkha dande when al sos bakhada do sagi hehe do le hot ba alchin da akoda peso sabachon da yagi ayo ba hetanitsin ote ishi ben jonon ke traya da hot to sachin alchiniya ja sishin yego da kabgadaz donzenda aho yanda na tsoni do aj da anni ligi sabanda hazni go dat do les ishin a hot ba heta nitin hashon te neb Washington lodigi ado ne nanagi nanishn saigi bet einishgi Washington da kinahal kredida ye hawan de wando sa large skin lenigi da satanigi do ba da einishgi sabana has soigi da sada dit ago de ne als nilto Satabit Schlidan Denigi Kandal Wanda Nanish Nach Bahodal Yan Kenan Haila Nila Slatan Nodan Gitchin Dalne Shea Bahahol Jijan Nalsos Hadish Hadit Aidan Denigid in Jono Beslendansh Don a large the Satahigi Donald Trump the art in the Bandal Nishi large Nanishanda Zenigi Nalsos which a Hundeli Nehe Aron Khan that in a hay ashore Die naltsos sanne bin in natche do bet shtlig itlinigi bek echo dan gedinin sin do ha shi na khel jeni dani tlide na do na khedani tlide do na tsoze dani tlide dia yese bet shtlig dani tlido de netani tlim Hajon Khan Saha Keso AB Gatolis Nene Ashon Zeil in the Betchlis Nenegi at Enebel has Anigi Ada Bede Nele Secretary Kennedy no Edo Hode Schlita no Ye de Hadot Zi Ashon Bankil Tahojo Hot ona Nish Nach Bahodad ne IXS workers do de Schnita no Yach on Ado Baheta Nitzin Ishin so Bahoda no sin Di de Nebenan Ashilhas Anigi Huij Bikida do ncha kia da dil tieto ad naltsos indel in johe dan khadossin jolchin anishto le nenigi baho da nossin da le shishlet anigi ha shi do its ad do don da hisi khad sin naltsos khada dil in to aj alch hanegi tskilo bich indel in to hade de neben da hot onyan se kesa no sada di tsaut shi baho da nossin do le sim alkhilna anishto Adi Lahot Energy Nat Ania Iya Lahot on Sekesto Bibin Hat Aigi Washington si Aji Yon Sogot Shinde Horobahanast Ashlat the meal yaje Hone Lashata Inish Aji Asla na Kidemil Sara Aji but the Inish Ishi Yan Sekeso Hashit Oi Skilon Nado Leto Bandal Nishigi Hajot Nebaka to Washat Nenigi Yat Ehoishin Hot Ben Hat Ajo Bada is Neligi be Bekashin Iket Nike Hodo Halit Olet o Hajo Besendish Nishno Hot o Hajo Sadon Hat Al Kenda Sinel Hot Enem Betchin Lenigi do Hashi Yego Hit Oda Yahat Zita Eslo Ba Hensinelo Eschasi Sado Hot Oda Deeds and the Arabin Yah Sad Nil Edo Hodo Nila Jo Ade Washington so you Beson Hitch Honail Ingi Benina Hajo Edo Hajo Alcadel dot Alto Di Hajo Bansen Kesto Di de Natch de Nehoda Sago Di Hot on Hada Hodo Alto a hot Enigide Alche Yadel Kedo a ye ho one do a day ho and Ani Stasi Chin the Lohidan Linde Hodat Othon Ha Nahadat the Schasot Ade Doshi Asaho Hashi Yashtki od Ede Di Asa Chin the Lohi Nenegido Janez the Hikagi Bitchin Schlish Nenegi Asta Alkilt Oyan se kiss Hot Oshi Bahodan Sindolish says Anigi which and il Krat Obgida need in Donald Sosta Hondel in hot Ishi Bahodan no Sindoli Arohone Nanigi Bahades Higi the Nebeke of a car since Sada Ditsa Sidoyat Eta Noda the Nep Big Gashin Den in no Le Hosdo da ye hat Noda Ben Hisnahan Hodoshes Anigi that Nil in the hot Eda Kehat Nenigi sin nacho hot zaid disan ke masanedon ke che da big gashin ha shim dobet at le do sahot enigi benadal dot le hosdo da hedi gel no da hot obahan na ompeni na Shada inishigi hajoda nosin Nihilo salauda nosenigi bahuda nosen Tleil ni gohashi begashi gelo Hwe da dos tlilhagos begashi da dohi si benagoda ha yud begashi de kia da hajon da yoslada bedashno to ba ho da no sindol adoshi masana do che do ta do mada no senigi khoroi de nebanan ta ho to khansis case ni kadi nas ho de shis ashla do nes na do no watch on la be kashidai kelo de inta ikhlado le Khade she bekashi da helton kenal sosto khade la hanjonon da edikedo le no elto bendel nishote beshil chhot anigi tonnanes dezide sta stratin honela bekashi Marana Arizona hoinkinda no adonat a banda hostin sta sebetin de mil yaje honela bahalle hindashi hot da il khato ben hostinigi hot ba hot da nosnelek adi de nebeke bakat en shata enishgi hot bedini dia si dos khwita dos liat eta nada do jo ish khasta ne masana don hit shade bansis keso dia yese illegal do ban nishasin kha ishe benina kha the net the ne bekashi den egedon khansinda khodo e asho shandad nis laudat enigido nal tonshida bas laudan lenge ban nada no khat shno hot oshin khodol jish Adolf Begashi bes laura shi hanada ni tkhar hot op de kuigra shi benane ne lobiga tolet Adolf tom kitchen da hof ne los laura aho yanda ne ol gosada hone la Begashi gel no slab in da hof ne aho yanda masana do bechede shi ye Begashi bes ando I gel tolet hot edel tishi ben ye Begashi holonigi aho yanda khara hot I hota kinchi ye sa de Begashi hinakye edan keda jezes leoda Bekashi ban hanig eshe eben yende do nal tloshin kede nebe da hallongi etel zinot de yinot hajo hasta ked nilzen an jono as khat ahil ya biga tole el keda nit indo as khan del go yat etole eshe hoto ba hoda no sen khoroi de nebanan khaila hit oyan sikeshi da no senek she hodo nasto hode shiza se yego khata il zido le shnoye hodon honna Ado nanigi meet and greets da inisha da First Lady Jasmine Blackwater Nygren Nash enigi Ado the nebich can't miss Navajo Ado hojashanad nisgi de ne bita ho yato chihatapaten khahigi inya nanishpadet anigi Ado osto nanish da yos yegi Navajo Nation Oil and Gas das nishigi so lan des ni na nijojde Ado tsabagan hot zande hot na nijojde ade so lan des ni nen kete nedan loda timpa honda jeton le ata des kazo da chendan enigi to hago da dishata da nedo da shinzen da no dan dance da kesgi ade First Lady do Miss Navajo tradi aj so ne ni hinde shin hot on jonon hot on hikedan lengi do yo da des kazo le to ado sad beshel na honegi de neha shi bichin da hui nan je hollona si yego bata nes da do ze da tsinda ilahigi da besil hot end ade nat shi be babas da hojo he she hon ni da no da chago da First Lady je hetan zen she hot First Lady ade nat ne jos de tradia do sa so nes ni she ba hetan ni zen ni shi so hon yanda chana kregoda ne tot do kin sanado nat ne jos na hada page bigate hot on hidnenda tada da kahada so ba da legid ba da dolsos da desk azot she hot jos ki da nit indole hot First Lady so his name also yes count do legi upcoming event February 21st on not so sta had the Schlicht proclamation and then give the ne yes had nenegi FFA Future Farmers of America the nebeke of a cow nehisha hey don hen nita da no ha shit khon shlonde lina kids at dahin strada at FFA in shlo Besta skida dil jeto hot enigi hashim alkhahon nedo bebik aho do sa big kashido the better den se do hodat enigi Njano boho ahot hot on jano behot on eshi scown proclamation had a schleteles hot on janon hehon nitoles aroso an hint nen lom Arizona FFA Vice President at Large lom Miss Azalea Harvey Leo eshi hot on san nen lom do hot on sabnat ani abet del net and them hona hot janon ilka oshi nekal jodi yaro no الطوحن بيش شلناهون إيش يهطو FFA كألشنة خدان لنجيم إيش إسكان proclamation شجع بكاش ليتون خيهون نيتو ليت نو بكاتو ليت نبنا أي شون FFA بس ليلا هاللو نيت إيش يلو اتخطانو لنجي خيهدو ليت نو كألشن بكيدا نوت إنجي دون خدا أولت خايجيم خيهدو ليت إيش به أكيد صار بين نقارو ليت أو خيهد خدو خدا أكيستو دمونا أوت ليت نبنا آخر إيلنا نشنايت لا روح إلى بنادا إنيش تطنو بيشلن ده حسن هذا أكسي هروي أبو هنا أنيتو هرود نبزارا بنش أنيتون كتشتش تخشله هويتشين مثلا دون كتشير زهات أزجز كتادو أمادو ساشينتو دوشين يود نبزار بيداست كده نك مثلا دون كتشير بزاره ده هود أوشين نبزار زيت أوه أحسن هواده جز تنا هلن إيشي كهدو ليش نكى هويتش هوجو بعدو أوه عن صح كيستو يجو دنبتشن ده هوي نانجي إبش جيل وال هوي جن خانسس كيس إبنا ساتج إهندشتاهند خد أود نكيد هات إنجي بنينا ديشنا شو هي تاشين نتخي ده هنيهن دي نهي تاشين ليش لا دو بنو أول كيسة ده ناس تادو ناس كيستو لي آج ده شيء سات نخان نانش نشل إيه هتون نخان صح كيسو ده جن هي هو نانش شاتل ده سو أنجي خيه دولي دي هرو the Netherlands Dr. Buu Nygren the more
Good afternoon. She Justin Hoskin she donet na shlinigi Belagana Nishle. Tots enables stream Belagana Dashe Nana Kisani Dashnale. Akot ego de na Hastin Shle. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Justin Ahostin, and I'm the Executive Director of the Navajo Nation Washington office, and wanted to provide a few updates from activities that are going on here in Washington, D.C. First and foremost, I know that there's a lot of concerns out in the world right now with a lot of the executive actions that are coming out of the Trump administration, as well as actions taken by some of the departments regarding the workforce reductions, as well as many of the executive orders that have been implemented. So I just want to assure the people that the Navajo Nation Washington office is on top of this, and we are continuing to work with the administration on finding ways to mitigate those impacts. In terms of advocacy activities, the Navajo Nation Washington office last week participated in a series of meetings up on Capitol Hill, primarily between February 12th through the 14th, with over 15 tribal nations as a part of educating Congress that Native Americans are a political classification and should not fall under any of the DEI initiatives, and that federal funding should not be impacted because we are a political classification and we do have reserved treaty rights with the federal government. Additionally, we also advocated for the Farm Bill. I know that many people depend on the Farm Bill for a variety of different programs, including the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which is also known as food stamps. We've been working with Congress as that reauthorization needs to be included in this upcoming appropriation package for either FY25 or FY26. The Farm Bill is operating on in an expiration. So we are trying to either get a small short-term extension or an entire new Farm Bill, which will probably include some significant changes. And one of those significant changes is probably going to be added work requirements to participate in the program, which means in order to be eligible for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, you have to demonstrate that you have either provided some sort of community service or that you are continuing to seek work in order to be eligible for the program. Those requirements have not yet taken place. Democrats and Republicans are still negotiating on the Farm Bill, but right now it does look like There will be some concessions that need to be made from the Democrat side because the House and the Senate are controlled by Republicans. So it's just working to make sure that these don't impose an undue burden on our tribal nations. Additionally, last week, the National Indian Education Association was here having their annual Hill visits. NNWO participated in a variety of different meetings to talk about what the impacts would be on federal impact aid, which many of our state schools rely on, as well as potential dismantlement of the U.S. Department of Education. Now, I want to be clear, there's a lot of talks about these different executive actions. And I think it's important for the people to know that the executive branch of the federal government cannot unilaterally close any department or agency within the federal government, especially if that department or agency was created by federal law or congressional statute. Congress reserves the power to dismantle an agency or department, but they normally do that by phasing out some of the existing duties and requirements for that. So while it is a scary thought to think of, and I know that there's a lot of rhetoric going around, there haven't been any tangible or affirmative actions that have been taken to actually dismantle the Department of Education. I know that there is a talk about an executive order to be issued in order to find ways to close down the Department of Education, but even if that were the case, the final authority does rest in Congress, and they will need a significant amount of votes to actually complete that, about a 2/3 requirement. And right now, that's something that they do not have in either chamber. But as a part of the Hill Week, there was, again, that re-emphasis in educating members of Congress and also requesting that they reach out to these executive offices to double down on the position that tribes do not fall under any DEI initiative, because we are not a racial classification. We are a political classification, and that's been upheld by various Supreme Court cases as well as federal law. We've also been advocating heavily on the amendments to the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri is a Republican on that side of the aisle, introduced Senate Bill 243, and that was introduced on January 24th and co-sponsored by Senators Mike Crapo, Senators Martin Heinrich, John Hickenlooper, Mark Kelly, Ben Ray Lujan, and Eric Schmidt. And this was a bill that was introduced with a $50 billion budget to address a lot of the impacts from radiation exposure for uranium miners, millers, and downwinders affected by federal mining activities and nuclear testing during the 40s, 50s, 60s, and even going past the 70s. This bill includes the post-71 expansion, but I want to be honest that this is more of a negotiating tactic. In the last Congress, there was a lot of push to put a spending cap on the bill, and that spending cap language was introduced back in December with a $5 billion cap on the program. Now, we don't think that that'll impact any of the ask that the Navajo Nation has, but I know that Congress is really concerned about putting limitations on federal spending and finding ways to reduce the federal deficit overall. But we have been actively engaging with members of Congress to find a path forward on a bicameral solution. We've had good discussions with the Utah delegation, and we're going to be continuing to have those discussions over the next few weeks. As we mentioned earlier at the start, federal probationary employee terminations. Last week, there was a memo and a directive issued by OPM doing mass firings for federal probationary employees. Once we heard about that, we took immediate action, and President Nygren's been pretty involved in communicating with the federal agencies to try to protect a lot of the positions that provide direct services to tribes. And that includes positions within the Indian Health Services, as well as the Bureau of Indian Education and the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Now, we have been successful in being able to provide exemptions to Indian healthcare service workers. And I know that Secretary Kennedy had already issued a verbal rescission of all of the terminations that have been processed out on Friday. So we are trying to work with Secretary Burgum to do the same thing for any BIE positions. And I know that a lot of positions that have been impacted are from the tribal colleges for Haskell Indian Nations University, as well as Southwest Indian Polytechnical University. So we are currently working on that. We are working with a coalition of other tribal organizations, including the American Indian Higher Education Consortium, as well as the National Indian Education Association. We are continuously having discussions on that. I actually met earlier today with the White House Intergovernmental Affairs Deputy Director to reemphasize those asks, and we've been continuously following up there daily. For those people who are at home who have been impacted, as of right now, there is on our website an opportunity for you to fill out some information so that we can collect that and bring it to the Department of the Interior to request those specific exemptions for specific positions that have been terminated. And we're going to continue to monitor that, and any information that the people can help give and provide to us will be helpful in our advocacy efforts. And that's going to go a long way into trying to get those exemptions and reinstatement for any positions that have been terminated. And in terms of our portfolio updates, there's been a lot of confirmations from different secretaries across all of the federal agencies. So that includes Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. She was confirmed. Robert Kennedy, Secretary of Health and Human Services, he's been confirmed. Mr. Patel, just earlier, has been confirmed today. So we are tracking all of the confirmations, and we are trying to get meetings with leadership to express the needs of the nation as we enter this new change in leadership. Next week, the House Appropriations Committee is meeting to discuss the FY26 budget for the Interior, Environment, and other related agencies. So this is the Department of the Interior federal budget, as well as EPA, and then any other agencies that fall in that specific category. President Nygren will be testifying at that hearing, and we will be sure to send out a link if in case anyone's interested in watching that testimony, but that'll take place next week on Wednesday. That's pretty much all of the updates that we have at this point. I know that was a lot of information, but I really want to just reassure the people that we are actively working to address a lot of these issues. And again, if you have been impacted by this federal mandate on these mass firings, please reach out to our office or email info@nnwo.org. Again, that's info@nnwo.org, or you can reach out to our website, www.nnwo.org. Again, that's www.nnwo.org. And there will be some information that's going to be released from our Facebook page that you can share with your family members or friends back home. And we'll also make sure that the President's office receives a copy of that. So if you are inquiring, that you'll have that information and you can reach out to us. That's all that I have for this week. I really appreciate it. Akeha, and until next time, we'll see you. Thank you.
Sweet morning light touches the eastern sky as I'm standing on this reservation road. Been looking forward to this day when I would walk this road, 'cause this road takes me back to my baby's house. Reservation road, take me home, carry me onward, back to her. Reservation road, take me home, carry me onward, back to her. road since my younger days. It's taken me to where I want to go, to a love so true and a love so right. Just take me home, take me down Reservation Road, Reservation Road. Take me